Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. Earlier this morning I was giving a tour and one of the guests asked, is that original? They asked that several times as we went through the ship. And as is always the case with me, you ask a short, simple question. There is no such thing as a short, simple answer on this ship. What does it mean to be original? What are you actually asking when you ask somebody at a historic site like this if something is original? Keep in mind, Battleship New Jersey served on and off from 1943 up until 1991. She was owned by the Navy from the late 30s when they start designing this class of ships, all the way up into the late 90s when she is finally given over to the museum. So when you ask, is that original, do you mean, is it original to when the ship was first built? Is it original to when the ship was in service? Is it an original piece of equipment that's maybe not from this ship but is still the right sort? I know that myself and many of my co-workers here who give tours at the battleship always struggle with that question, and we're not struggling because we're trying to remember, hey, was this the original equipment that was in here? It's because we're not sure what version of that question you're asking us. For example, we are in the TV control room on Battleship New Jersey. Space is 02-123-1C. So we're on the starboard side of the O2 level superstructure. And during World War II, this was not a television control room. But in the 80s, at the end of our service, it was.
Ways that we find that we can keep from losing them. Otherwise, they just don't come back. I wish it was some other way.
Well, we have another opportunity to purchase naval salute videos.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If you're talking about, there will be a video made of the naval salute in Australia, the one we just did. And when we get that, when we've ordered one, there should be instructions at least on how we can order more.
So when you ask that question, would you say that this is original or not? Because I would say, yeah, it's original to when the ship was in service. But it's obviously not original to the 1940s when the ship was built. It further complicates things that the original, there's that word again, the original equipment that was in this space got taken out when the ship was decommissioned to be used on another ship. So we have acquired original type equipment from other sites of similar time periods to reinstall in here, and it actually works. Whereas most of the equipment original to this ship doesn't necessarily work anymore. So even though this is largely period appropriate, original to the right time period, it's not original to the ship. So would you say that's original? I tend to say that no, this is appropriate equipment that functions in the right manner, but it is not original to this ship. If some piece of this was from the 1980s, from this ship, came to us with the ship, let's say this piece wasn't stripped out for whatever reason, I would say, oh yeah, this is original to the ship. Not necessarily original to when she was built, but it's original to the ship. This we added as a museum. Our period of interpretation here is approximately the year 1990. There's a little bit of flex there, but that's the last time Battleship New Jersey does an active deployment. So it is the condition in which we got the ship. Most of the equipment that we still have on board is exactly what was on here in 1990. Some of it goes all the way back to the 1940s. A lot of it doesn't. Some of it's added in the 50s, the 60s, the 80s, the 90s. And then other stuff we've added as a museum. We stripped it off of another Navy ship, or we got it from the old racetracks here, like much of the television equipment on board. So we're very much a mix. I would just ask, in the future, you're on a tour at any historic site, museum, whatever, when you ask a question, give as much information as possible so the tour guide knows what question they're answering. Is that original to when the ship was built? Or is that original to when the ship was in service? Because those are two very, very different questions that get two very different answers. Or is that just original period correct equipment Or is it a facsimile that the museum is built as like a stage prop? So remember, those sorts of questions apply to any sort of historic site that you're visiting. The more information you can give your tour guide, the easier it is for them to answer your question in a short and concise manner. So what do you typically mean when you ask, is this original? Let us know in the comment section down below, as I always assume people mean, is it original to when the ship was in service? But, obviously there are a bunch of other ways you can take that. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. We really appreciate your support. There's a link in the description below if you'd like to donate to support the museum. You can also support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find about us and our channel. Thanks for watching.